Hello and welcome. In today's video, I want to convince you why you shouldn't come to Russia right now. And one of the big reasons why you shouldn't be coming is because right? Right now is the beginning of winter, and I'm going to really try my best to convince you, unless you're an experienced traveler, why Russia is not the answer right now for you. When I'm telling you not to come, I mean don't come to live right now. I don't believe that people who want to make a new life should choose winter to start their new life, obviously. Now, I'm standing here next to a fence that I've been building. This is the last project of the year for me. This will be done hopefully within the next week and a half. Now, I've been working on this since the beginning of autumn. Now we're going into winter, right? The you're gonna have to imagine that if you decided to come right now to an area like this, you'd have no time to settle down. Now, obviously, if you're going to Moscow, St. Petersburg, some major city, and you're going to go live in an apartment or you're going to buy a brand new house, yes, it's going to be a lot easier for you. But you're still going to have to struggle if you're not from a country like Canada or a Nordic country where they have similar winters. Just the weather alone is not going to be a reason why you shouldn't come, but it's one of the biggest reasons. Add on that you don't speak the language, you're not going to be able to make various amount of deals to kind of get your life a little bit more comfortable. It's just all going to add up. Usually, when I tell people to come, I tell them to come and experiment in better weather. Unless, of course, you're coming to experience the culture. You know, I made a video where I went to Baikal, Alaska, and I was in the banya, I was dipping myself in Angara. These type of tourist destinations are very, very good in winter. But do not come and expect to change your life now. Do not relocate your life in winter. You're going to want to wait until maybe March, April to start moving yourself from whatever country you're coming from into Russia. Now, depending on what part of Russia you even want to visit, it's gonna really vary how much snow you get. You see, this is a little bit of powder just landing. But some places in Russia are not even experiencing snow, which brings me to my next point. There is some places in Russia where you can relocate and not have to worry about this stuff. I've talked about it in the past as well. There is places in Russia that do not experience harsh winters and sometimes experience mild winters to having absolutely no winters like this, where snow is falling, where you have to change the tires on your car. And these kind of places are usually along the coast, like along the Black Sea coast. A lot of people with money usually like to move to these places. But unless you have the money to relocate yourself to where like Krasnodar or Sochi, do not come to Russia during winter to make a new life. This is my third winter here in Russia, but it is my first winter having to worry about building, having to worry about budgeting myself, basically. Sorry, I have to budget myself, my money, my time, and it's really the pressure is on. Whenever the first snow falls, you're kind of racing against time, trying to figure out how much you can get done. I mentioned this project behind me. This fence here, we decided to build the fence rather than do the foundation, rather than start the house, because obviously we're going to start bringing materials in and we need to protect our things. So building a fence was optimal for the project. And you have to kind of put yourself in this position. If you decide to fly in November, December, and you have plans to buy property, you're going to have to really tell yourself and accept that, hey, I'm not going to start building until maybe 7 months from now, 6 months from now. So the best thing for you is do not pressure yourself. Do not put that pressure on yourself to come during winter, because you're going to have to wait anyways. I'm going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. Unless, of course, you're living somewhere in sunny Sochi or Krasnodar, these areas that are pretty much not going to have winter for about 6 to 7 months. And again, I'm telling you guys, it's totally possible for you to come experience the Russian culture, and then go back to from wherever you came from. I'm trying to make it very clear, and I'm trying to give you from experience the best advice. I am still getting messages about, hey, I'm going to come live in Russia. I'm coming in a month. I'm coming in 2 months. And I'm looking at the calendar and I'm saying, hey, buddy, that's December, January, and February. These are the coldest months here. And I'm pretty sure you don't have the right gear to live here. You don't have the proper budget. Like, your budgeting has to be off because you have no understanding about what it costs to live here in Russia. So you really, guys, you have to tone it down and wait. Comment down below if you are understanding this, guys. We need to engage in conversation. I'm not telling you guys not to come and make your dreams come true in Russia. I'm also not telling you not to be a tourist in Russia, because I think that winter is absolutely the best time to visit Russia, especially my area. Here in Lake Baikal, it's going to freeze over. You can have a bunch of winter adventures. You know, you could do so many things in winter in Russia, but I need you guys to let me know if you're understanding that there's a big difference between tourism, living, and choosing what time of year to relocate you and your family to Russia, because I think it would be very irresponsible of me and you if you didn't take the message that winter is not the best time to come. Because I really want you guys to come and experience Russia for what it is. And I'm trying to make these videos so that you know as much as possible, right? I want you guys to come here and see Baikal, come here to Russia, go to Moscow, go see Irkutsk, St. Petersburg, and a bunch of other Siberian cities. You know, I've been recently to Nizhny Novgorod, beautiful city, way out there. I've never been there before. So there's so many different places you can visit, but you have to do it responsibly. Obviously, I told you in the beginning that some people are used to this kind of weather, but you're not used to this kind of culture, this kind of language, this kind of society. So you really have to adjust yourself. Do not throw your families into the darkness. Don't throw them into the fire. Coming from the United States, you know, we see a lot of immigrants coming through with their little kids, putting them through the desert, the Sonoran desert. And that's, to me, like, that's cruel. Right? So this is the same kind of cruelty, putting your kids through a harsh winter without easing them in. I see it this way. By the way, also do let me know in the comment section if you would be interested in coming to Russia, to Irkutsk, to experience what I did. You know, in winter, it's really fascinating. I was in Baikal, Alaska. I'm telling you guys, this is the soul of Russia. If you're interested in visiting Russia during winter, maybe next year, the year after that, I can help you plan an amazing trip here on Lake Baikal while it's frozen. I've done many activities out there, but you guys have to let me know if you're even interested in that kind of stuff. Russia is not only Moscow, Russia is not only St. Petersburg. You know, east of the Urals, there's so much land. And I want to know who would be interested in trying to experience Russia, how we do it here in Siberia. And with all that being said, I'm going to give you guys a quick summary of this job. I had mentioned on a live that this is going to cost about $2,500 USD, the digging, the machine work, the metal work, the materials, the labor cost. We also use the same heavy equipment operator to take away the foundation where our house is going to be. So we've actually done a lot this year. We've owned this property for about 6 months. And, you know, I believe that this is going to be one of the most costly things that we do besides the house, right? Once we have this fence up, there's really not a lot of other things that we want to invest in except the house. But you just have to know the price. Once it's done, obviously, I'll record it again and I'll give you guys the finished product. By the way, I want to show you guys the process, some of the work that heavy equipment operator did, so you get an idea of why it costs what it cost. And obviously, I told you I was going to show you the end product of this fence. But here's some clips of us working on the foundation and some digging on the trench for this wall here. In true Siberian fashion, it's snowing. It's like hell snowing. Actually, it's in between. I don't know what you would call that. I'm from California, excuse me. Well, you can see the machine working behind us. He's moving the old foundation that was here. You know, in the old videos, we used to walk here, we cleaned this. This is actually where an old house was, where cows lived. What we're doing is we're taking away that foundation because our house is gonna be on this side now and our yard's gonna be on that side. Now, I'll show you how it looks later, but you saw the tractor making that ditch, the trench for the foundation of the wall. It's gonna be a 6-meter gate, push button, electric, beautiful, so I don't have to get off and open it all the time. But you know, this is what you have to do before you build again. There's a lot of work happening before we build. And this is true Siberia. Look at this, is crazy. The sun has already gone behind the mountain. We are loading the last trip here now. And I can't wait to just dump it already so I can go home. It's cost 3,000 rubles an hour for this work that we've been doing. And I think we're gonna end up paying 10 hours, which is 30,000 rubles. So I'll have the conversion rate on the screen for you. And that's pretty much what it costs for us to take the old foundation off. In the future, we're gonna have the same operator dig the foundation. It's gonna be 3,000 rubles, the same an hour. But for now, we have to break to rebuild better in the future, okay? Let's go take this last trip to the dump site and we'll be finished. We were lucky enough that a friend of Ksenia actually owns this land where we're dumping. We've done this, like I said, so many times, 20 times, 30 times. And it's just gonna keep happening. Now the driver is actually Ksenia's father's friend. So everybody knows each other. This is a landfill. And I've been helping through the rides because this is a two-man job, just to put the door on and off. This machine is a hydraulic one. It just lifts, as you can see. It's much faster. And when it goes up enough, it latches on and then we just go. Another really important thing is that where I'm standing here, this used to be crops, right? This is where our potatoes were. This is where the radish was, our carrots, all of those vegetables that we planted. And we're not even ready ourselves for winter. I wanted to put a greenhouse. Here in Siberia, we have more sun than Moscow and St. Petersburg. We have sunny winters. So you can take advantage of that. And there's other ways of harvesting during winter anyways. But as you can see, there's no greenhouse here. There's nothing ready for us to plant. And this just lets you know that if you decide to come here right now, you're going to be behind us, right? So the timeline for you guys is even further back. I'm really want to stress this. Do not come to Russia during winter. If your plans are to relocate your family, do not put the stress on your kids. If you're going to come for tourism, by all means come, please, and experience really what Russia has to offer. That's where you can find your Russian soul, somewhere in a banya or in dipping yourself in a river or a lake. after the baña, but there is nothing for you in winter. Hopefully nobody got offended. Hopefully none of you guys took this as a negative video. This is a very positive video in my mind. I just have to share what's on my mind, you know. I just have to let you know the reality that I've gone through, the reality that I see around me. There's a lot of people who struggle in Russia during winter, who have been living in Russia all their lives. That's why I'm donating wood. A lot of the wood here that we took off the walls is being donated to some people who cannot afford firewood. And this is the wood that I'm telling you that we are donating to the people. This is an old wall. We obviously had to take the old wall where we're putting that new wall, and this is being cut. I'm using the chainsaw here, and we're just cutting them into pieces, and we're making firewood out of it, which I'm going to use to go camping, or Ksenia's father uses it when he goes fishing, puts it on the ground, right? And there's a lot of extra wood that we're going to be giving away. And I'm not kidding, you know, that's literally what we've been using. Is the walls that we took down have been cut into small pieces like this, because my stove is pretty small. And Ksenia has been piling them up. I've been cutting them. She's been piling them up. So we have firewood made out of a fence. And we're just going to continue to do it that way, because I don't plan on buying firewood until obviously the house is completely full. Until then, we have a lot of wall left. If you have the money to relocate yourself to a city, by all means, I guess if nothing's going to stop you, do it. But if you have a large family who has never experienced winters, do not come. Do not put them through something that could end up being traumatic. I know that for myself, being from California, my first winter was really hard. I didn't have the right clothes. I didn't have the right mentality. Your mood changes a lot. So keep these things in mind. And I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful Day of the Dead when this releases. We're still celebrating this in Mexico. I hope that you guys had a nice Halloween wherever you're from, if you celebrate it. And it's almost time for that New Year, right? November's going to fly by, and we're going to be seeing each other in Christmas and on New Year's.